So the other day I was thinking, yeah, incredible, right? I was thinking, what does this world come to? But I was thinking about technology, obviously. You know, everybody who knows me knows that that's pretty much all that's ever on my mind. And I was thinking about there's kind of a pattern in the way that they look. There's really hunks of time where they all looked a certain way, then they all looked another way. And you'll see what I'm talking about. I'm going to tell you guys this pattern right now. This is from the past to the present, the looks of interfaces. Alright, so let's start back at the beginning of graphical user interfaces in the 80s. So there wasn't really a common theme actually back then. It was all kind of just scattered around. If we look at the two biggest and most popular, Windows and Mac of the time, 1985, the first version of Windows was very colorful, and then if you look at Mac, it was black and white. In fact, the Mac computers had no color in their screens. So there wasn't really anything unifying the interfaces back then. But when we get to the 90s, things start to have a common theme. That theme is gray. Overall, grays and blacks were used a lot. Let's look at Windows 95. You have the gray taskbar, the gray start button, the gray start menu, the gray window borders, the gray 3 buttons at the top right of each window. And even through Mac OS 9, everything in it was gray, from the shortcut menu on the bottom to the menu bar at the top, and all kinds of other visual elements through Mac OS 9 were gray. Now if we get to about 13 years ago, things start to have another type of theme. That theme being lots of shading effects, vivid colors, and transparency effects. Microsoft kind of waited to incorporate both of these. If you look at Windows XP, it's very colorful. Vivid red close button, window borders are a nice shade of blue, start button's green, taskbar is blue. And if you look at Windows Vista, that's when transparency starts coming in. You can see there's lots of transparency involved in Windows Vista on even the taskbar and the start menu and the window borders. If you look at Mac OS X, which was released in 2001, the same time as XP, there was lots and lots of colors in those operating systems. Lots of colors, and there's lots of transparency effects that over time were incorporated into Mac OS X. You can also look at iOS in 2007. Back then it was called iPhone OS because that was the first iPhone, that was all it was for, so they just called it iPhone OS. There were lots of colors in the first version of iOS. There wasn't really any transparency at all. In fact, there was nothing. Not even a background, not even a wallpaper. Why do you have a wallpaper? Man, you stupid. So as we progress further and further into time, past Windows 7, which also had these transparency effects, into the 20-teens. Is that a term? Hey! Is 20 teens, like, do people say that? Is that a thing?
No.
Huh. Well, I'm gonna say it. iOS 7 is where more modern looking things came in. It's where the colors kind of became more bland, not necessarily as vivid. 3D effects went away, things became a lot flatter, and it's designed more simply. It's designed to have a simpler interface. We can look at the 3 most recent versions of iOS, Windows, and OS X for this one. Let's look at iOS 7. First, let's look at iOS 6 to iOS 7. You can see iOS 6 has lots of shadings and lighting effects and colors on the icons, and it looked nice. And then iOS 7 came around, icons are flatter, looks cartoony, it's just simpler, and the icons are so flat. It's kind of very different from iOS 6, but they're designed to have that more modern look. Also, there's the translucency effects, like in the dock, where you can see the colors through behind it. You can't tell what's behind it, but you see the colors. So that's the kind of neat effect. If you look at Windows 8, and this is the whole Windows 8 series, so Windows 8, Windows 8.1, the update for Windows 8.1, the live tiles have very flat look to them. And also, if you go to the desktop, you can see the taskbar is very flat design. The start button logo, that one is a flat design. It's not 3D like it used to look. Things are just very simple and flat and clean. Now let's look at the version of OS X that Apple announced at WWDC this year, Yosemite. If you look at OS X Yosemite, you can see all kinds of stuff from iOS 7 incorporated into Yosemite, into OS X. There's lots of translucency effects with the colors showing through. It's very flat. It's very modern looking. It's a big change from OS X Mavericks, which is very similar to almost every other version of OS X out there. So guys, that's the video. I just wanted to share something that I realized. I thought it was kind of interesting. Thought maybe you guys would find it interesting. But anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video. Subscribe to me if you feel so inclined. Check out my friend Alex's channel, The Techmaster Guy. Link will be on the end screen and in the description below. I'm Joe Green. I will see you Thursday.
And every person over the crap of Smiley that a shower I can live.
So guys, that's the video. Thank you for watching. I just wanted to show... Bleh. Alright.
I'm a turkey.
I'm sorry, guys. Also, there's the translucency effects where you can see the... Link will be on the end screen and in the description below. I'm Joe Green. I will see you Thursday.
And every person over the crap of Smiley that a shower I can live. That's hilarious. And every person over the crap of Smiley that a shower I can live. And every person over the crap of Smiley that a shower I can live. And every person over the crap of Smiley that a shower I can live.